Good and bad habits. Bad company corrupts good habits. 1 Corinthians 15:33. There is a widely known and deeply rooted saying among people, a habit is stronger than law or faith. I would add that it is indeed very close to the truth, because if a person develops a habit, it is very difficult to cope with it, and not infrequently, they are powerless against it. What is a habit, and why is it good or evil? Understanding the true answer to this question can shed light on how a person can manage to eradicate a harmful habit ingrained in them. A habit that, I would say, is a catalyst for its owner to commit sin. And when the conversation is about true knowledge, clearly it is impossible to find it without the Bible, and that is why I turn to it. When God formed man, he planted in him passions and habits, and then placed reason on the throne as the leader of every sensation, and gave it the law. Thanks to this, man was supposed to rule a kingdom that was reasonable, just, good, and worthy. 4 Maccabees 2:21-23. Just as pleasure and pain are plants that sprout from the body and the soul, so these plants have their own branches. Each of these is cleaned, pruned, grafted, watered, and tended in every way by the farmer, reason, and it tames wild morals and passions. Because reason is the leader of virtues and the ruler of passions, reason prevails over passions thanks to its power of self-control, and self-control rules over desires. Some desires are spiritual and others are bodily, and both clearly are conquered by reason. 4 Maccabees 1:20-32. How is this so? A man will ask. That reason, the master of passions, cannot conquer forgetfulness and ignorance, but reason rules not over its own passions, but over the carnal ones. A man cannot uproot such a desire, but reason can still grant the ability to be disobedient to the desire. A man cannot uproot wrath from the soul, but he can call upon reason as a helper in wrath. A man cannot uproot wicked morals, but reason can send forth defiance against the evil morals as a fellow soldier. Reason is not the uprooter of passions, but their adversary. 4 Maccabees 3:1-5. Reason can overcome desires and extinguish the flame of passions. It can subdue the most grievous physical pains and repel all attacks of the passions thanks to the goodness of the mind. 4 Maccabees 3:17-18. As you can see, the Bible reports that reason cannot eradicate habits or traits, but it can control desires and feelings. And as for what all this means, I will explain it. As you know, a human is a consumer of energy, and also a producer of it. Since they are alive, and the existence of life is conditioned precisely by the consumption and production of energy. Moreover, not only the existence of man, but also the existence of this universe is based on the consumption and production of energy. This confirms that it is also a living creation, because it arose, undergoes changes, and the time will come when it will transform into something else. And all these processes are subject to lawful regulation, because the preservation of life's existence requires specific functioning designated for itself. If it were not calculated lawfully, the preservation of life could not happen. The example of human death provides confirmation of this. This happens because a person does not obey the life lived in compliance with the legislation that the Creator established for them as a vital necessity. As for the energy that ensures the existence of human life, it clearly gives them strength, and since man is created as a thinking being, this power is presented in them in the form of a feeling, and we know it by the name of love. As is known, the action of a force creates its own field of attraction, and this manifests in man as traits. We also know that man is a complete being unified by the combination of soul and body. Moreover, the soul has its own demands, and the body has its own. The Bible reports on this, that with the mind I myself serve the law of God, but with the flesh the law of sin. Romans 7:25. Therefore, the flesh desires against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. Galatians 5:17. All this is based on the principle of the existence of the universe, the foundation of which is stability created against the background of attraction-repulsion. The soul is given to man from the cosmos and is subject to cosmic attraction, while the body is subject to earthly attraction. All this confirms that their existential energies are based on mutually opposite forces. And as for the fact that there is such an attraction between them, that a whole is established by the combination of these two, this is confirmation that one is produced from the other. Because otherwise, the kind of cooperation that is called growth, development, and the existence of life could not take place between them. You also know that a body turned into a corpse is physically lacking nothing to prevent it from being alive. But life cannot exist in it because the soul has left the body. This is proof that vital energy is given to man through the soul, and since the body cannot maintain existence without it, it therefore needs to satisfy the soul's demands so that the soul can exist in the environment called the human organism. Maintaining existence naturally implies functioning, for the essence of life is in action, i.e., the body needs to establish a balance between itself and the traits of the soul to preserve the soul. The violation of these is called the commission of sins, and when their quantity exceeds the limit required to maintain the connection of attraction between them is broken, and the soul departs from the body. As for the balance, its maintenance is ensured by the actions that a person commits because they desire to do so. And desires are ruled by the feelings that are more active in the individual. But as for feelings, they have their own traits and habits, and it is precisely their activity that rules over desires. And as for the balance vital for existence, it is clear that the Creator established it for the creation and presented it in a way understandable to human thought in the form of the laws that we know as biblical wisdoms.